Hello, my name's Tomi Davies, and I'm going to be talking to you about scaling startups, a roadmap to success, how you can unlock your growth potential. Now, a little bit about me. Well, I'm an advisor, I'm an author, I'm a speaker. I've done quite a number of things, but what's most important to this conversation is the fact that I have this growing portfolio of startups that I have learned a lot from over the last number of years. And that's what I'm hoping I can share with you in the next few minutes. So, what are we going to be talking about? Well, first, I'll talk about building a scalable business model, how you understand scalability, what are the components that make up scalability. What kind of opportunities do we have in Nigeria? And then I'll give you 5 steps to scale, share some of the common pitfalls I've seen in scaling, give you some of the success stories, which I'm hoping you already know, and then finally, how you prepare for scale. So let's dive in. First of all, over the years, like I said, I've worked with countless number of startups, and the critical defining factor for those that actually succeed or fail is the fact that they have this capability to succeed effectively. And that means scaling. But it's just not about growth. It's about building a business model that can really, really sustain growth without collapsing under its own weight. All right. So what do we mean when we actually say scalability, scalability? You're always talking scalability. What exactly are you talking about? Well, we're talking about growth that sustains itself. So, what are the key attributes? The first is definitely your revenue has to outpace your cost. Okay, you're making more, you're growing faster in terms of what you're making than what you're spending to make it. And then you've got the kind of processes and infrastructure that actually adapt as you get rising demand. Take a look at an example of, Paystack. Seamless. They did Nigeria, and after they did Nigeria, they started step by step, and now they're Pan-African. Flutterwave. They built a scalable tech infrastructure that handles not just Nigerian or West African, but Pan-African transactions. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about scaling. So, what are the components of scalability? Well, first and foremost is the value proposition. Okay, what problem are you solving at scale? Second, your revenue model. Okay, how do you monetize? Where's the money coming from? Third, customer, customer, customer. Are your channels cost efficient? Are you getting the right numbers, the right kind of customers in time as you need it? And then, of course, operational efficiency. Can your processes handle demand? Do you have enough of them automated? Are there enough of them doing what they're supposed to do in the way where people are focused on the people side of things? And of course, if the market can't bear it, you're not going to make it. So, is the market big enough? Is it accessible? Okay. Does it have the potential to sustain the kind of growth you're talking about at scale? So those are the key components of scalability. Like I said again, your value proposition, your revenue model, your customer acquisition, your operational efficiency, and of course, the market potential. Now, how about, yeah, TD, that's nice. How about in Niger itself? Well, the market potential in Africa is huge. So let me drop down into what we're seeing. Fintech, everybody knows about, but don't think of fintech as being, how do I put it, exclusive. Okay? There are solutions for financial inclusion. Look at what Kuda's done. You just heard about MoneyPoint raising over 100 million. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. Agri-tech. Okay, tech for farming efficiencies. You'd be amazed at what's happening, for example, in carbon trading around agriculture right now. Take a look at Thrive Greek. And logistics. Oh, there are what of us? 200 million of us in Nigeria. All right, getting things around delivered to them, addressing that supply chain. There's still gaps, massive gaps, okay, that will allow any startup that really knows what it's doing to scale. Look at Kobo 360. And as we talk about this, continental expansion is becoming relatively, I use the word relatively, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's becoming relatively easier because we've got the African Continental Free Trade Agreement that is kicking in for cross-border, okay, expansion. So take a look at that too as you look at our opportunities. So like I said, I was going to give you 5 steps. Okay, what are those roadmap to growth? There are 5 of them. First is, have you validated your idea? You're solving a proven problem that you know can scale. If you're not, you're pissing in the wind. Second is repeatable systems. I can't overemphasize this. If you are planning to scale, then you must be able to do things at scale. What does that mean? Document and automate, document and automate. That's what you've got to do with your systems. I cannot overemphasize the investment in technology. You can't scale without technology. Here's the challenge I'm going to give you. If you know anybody that can serve 1 million people simultaneously without technology, please, 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 my name's Tomi Davies. Let me know. Now, the fourth one is what everybody thinks about, shouts about, and it's, 8 out of 10 times I talk to founders, that's, we don't have enough access to plan for capital. Align growth with funding. You know you're going to grow. Yeah, you're going to need money to grow. Show the demand. This is what's happening. That's what investors want to see. And that drops me to the fifth point, which is metrics. If you're not tracking your revenue, your churn, your customer acquisition cost, your customer lifetime value, it's not going to be worth it. You're not going to get that capital you need for the growth because you got to show it in numbers. Okay? Numbers speak. So those are your 5 steps. You validate your idea, you build repeatable systems, you invest in the technology, you plan for capital, and make sure you monitor your metrics. So you're doing all of that to do everything, I'm doing, what could go wrong? Well, you've not consolidated your local market, you're looking elsewhere. You're in Lagos, you're just on mainland, you haven't done island, you haven't done Ikorodu, you haven't done other places, you're looking at Kano. Scaling too early when you don't have the traction, you don't know your customers well enough, you can't build out. That's the most critical one I see most. The other is, don't worry, we're making the money, inefficient cash burn. Make sure every penny you're spending, you can see where 3 pence is coming back from. If not in the immediate, in the long. And then, yes, I know technology is not exactly everybody's um, bread and butter, but manual processes don't work in today. I'm sorry, no vex. You start with them, build your MVP using manual so you understand it, but as soon as possible, you've got to automate. And over reliance on manual processes, you won't scale. The last one is probably to me the most significant. If you don't build a culture, okay, of exploration, expansion, learning, okay, that gives your team the capability, you won't go far. You won't scale it. You've got to build a team culture that allows for self-expression. Those are the common pitfalls I see in scaling. So who's done it well? Well, look at Kobo 360. To the point they started here. Look at where they are now. They've simplified logistics, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. Andela scaled tech talent so much that it got to a point where the rest of the world says, oh no, you can't focus on Africa alone. You've got to do the world. Look at Paystack. They've been acquired by Stripe. They're a Nigerian entity. Today, they're Africa's payment gateway to the world. So these are the kind of things we know we can do, has been done. And I'm 100% sure you in the room can do the same. So How do you prepare for scale? First, is your business model repeatable? Have you proven it? Do you have the infrastructure to handle that growth? Are your systems prepared for that volume? Are you leveraging partnerships and technology effectively? And most importantly, yeah, you want to expand. Have you validated that market? I trust that helps. My name's Tomi Davies. Everybody calls me TD. I'd like to thank you for listening, and I hope you found the last few minutes useful. Thanks once again. I'd love to hear from you when you have a minute. These are my details on the screen. Cheers.